Hello and welcome. In this video I will show you the multiplayer game that we played yesterday, and that was quite an interesting game. By the way, this is the first time I will go through saves to the left, as you can see, and show you how the world changed during the time. So first of all, let's go for players. We had Goran playing USA, Marconi starting as Prussia, forming NGF. Austria was played by the German doctor, Christian playing Russia, Sweden being played by Plex, I think. Did we have some more players? I think we did, but yeah, Brazil was played by Spottigan. And then I think that was pretty much it for the beginning of the game, and then later a few more players joined the game. So first of all, let's start with America, taking a few provinces from Canada in the beginning. And of course, finishing off the Mexican War. Actually, Texan War of Independence. So that's it. Brazil, I think they expanded on... not sure. I think Bolivia is quite smaller here than it should be. So anyway, Brazil, aside from taking territories in America, I helped them take province from Morocco, so they will be able to colonize later on. So I'm playing Portugal, of course, taking Sokoto, and preparing a setup for colonization later on. So in Europe maybe we had a France player in the beginning. As you can see, Tunis and Algeria is already taken. And yeah, we had a Netherlands player in the very beginning of the game. And they decided to declare war on Belgium. However, I think they switched the country, so Netherlands was left as AI, and they lost the war against the UK and Belgium. As you can see, there is only a few years difference between and the first and the second save, so nothing really important happened there, and aside from NGF forming, of course. So Belgium was quite strong, and I think we had a Belgian player at some point, maybe towards the end of the game. So that's pretty much it for the first save, and then quite a few interesting things happened in the second save. As you can see, USA expanding further on Mexico and taking a few more territories from Canada. So America is completely controlled by USA. And then Brazil doing pretty much nothing here, just trying to industrialize, as you can see, and steadily growing. And then, okay, let's first talk about Portugal. So, since I was quite an unimportant part of this game so far. So, Spain was AI, and then out of nowhere they declared war on me for not colonial province, but for my core province. Which just blew my mind, really. I didn't expect it, I didn't see it. We were rehosting at this point, so I didn't even notice when they declared war on me. I didn't see they had a casus belli on me, so I didn't have troops ready there, and I just peaced out instantly, because there was really no point fighting Spain there, and no one was willing to help. So. Yeah, I think at this point we had Ruroc playing France. He joined at some point. And so, NGF, obviously played by Marconi, wanted to invade Austria, and so he could take Bavaria and other German states in his sphere. Also, I think he wanted to grab Bohemia. Austria was quite angry about it, and Russia, Austrian ally, didn't really allow it. So there was a first big war in Europe, and actually it was an interesting war because France and NGF were allied, and that was quite a discussion from a Russian and Austrian point of view. Why is France even helping NGF, since NGF has a core on them and will have to fight them later? So I don't know if that was a mistake by Ryuk, or it was intentional. What he did is actually he moved his troops through Sardinia and started fighting Austria, but he lost 2 battles that cost him a lot of war score. Actually, I think it was a -20 in favor of Austria at that point. So France actually peaced out and I don't know why. I think it was for the reason of weakening Germany. So if that was his starting idea, that it was really brilliant, because this way Germany had to fight Austria and Russia. So Germany would be very weak, and then Austria and Russia would also lose some troops to Germany, and France will pretty much be the only great power in Europe left. Well, actually, only military power in Europe. So if that was his plan, then it's quite a brilliant plan. If not, then it's a huge blunder, but lucky one for France. So anyway, Marconi actually lost this war badly and lost 2 provinces here, as you will see in the next save. Let's switch to it. Of course, Russia took part of Bulgaria from Ottomans. Of course, Gurn continuing his expansion on Canada, taking even more provinces, and as someone noted in the game, uglifying Canada. And truly it is. Really looks ugly. So Brazil expanded, I think, here on Uruguay. And that's pretty much it from Brazil. I continued my expansion in Africa. And I think at this point actually the war for Dynam in China was over. I actually really don't like going for China, honestly. I don't like it. Sometimes I'm just forced to. Since I lost my core here, so that meant we only had one national focus, and we had no factories, so we were making no money basically. So I had to somehow boost my economy, and I had to go for China. Of course, Dynam was a stepping stone to it, so why not? Anyways, let's switch to Europe. As you can see, Austria taking, I think this is Schlesien, and then a Prussian territory was taken from by actually Russia. In the meanwhile, Scandinavia was formed, as you can see, and Belgium actually, I think they took in a previous save, they took part of Morocco, so quite an interesting situation there. Ottoman war against Egypt was not started yet, so that's quite an interesting thing to see. And of course Greece took a part of Ottoman Empire, actually took their own core back. So at this point I think Marconi left the game, and then we hosted. He switched to UK, and then Germany was played by Johnny. Europe was preparing for a second Great War, which you will see in the next save. So of course this time UK being the ally of NGF, and I'm going to switch to Portuguese view. And let's start the game. So UK and German alliance, that was quite obvious since Marconi wanted his revenge, this time playing as UK. And meanwhile we had a quick war of USA declaring war on Spain for Cuba, taking it quite easily, and also USA sent a few troops to Spain, beating up their troops. So me and my ally Brazil decided to declare war on Spain. I'm going to take my core back, Douro, and I think I'm going to take Granada from Spain, so we can finally have some industry going. As you can see, we have one factory. It's quite full, so it's not that bad, but I would like to have some steamer factory if possible for decolonization. Colonial tensions going. I would like to get this part, but that might not be possible. We'll see though. I'm completely content with Brazilian part. I think it's okay, and I'm not going to do anything there. I'm not sure what USA wants to take. I think they want to take this part, so hopefully it's okay. This part around Ethiopia I don't really care about. So in the Asia nothing really changed. I think someone played India for a short time. Nothing major happened there. As you can see, India still has no infamy, and actually AI France is fighting a war against India. Let me show you that really quickly. So war of Indian Madras concession. France are acquiring 2 states from India. We'll see how that works out. They don't have troops in India, I believe. Let's see, yeah, Indian troops are not moving, so I'm pretty sure France has no troops there. So, the Second Great War in Europe started. This time, Germany and UK, of course, and Austria and Russia on the other side. Fortunately for Germany, there was slight miscommunication in the beginning, and UK troops weren't on time to reinforce their troops. There was a big battle of Leipzig, and Germany lost, I think, 2 stacks of 30k men there, and Germany was really mad about it. So for a few months there was quite a staring contest throughout Austrian borders. All of the troops being placed there and just staring at each other. Of course, only Bavaria fighting, and Russia was quite fine with what they occupied. I think they're taking a war score there. Let me check. Yeah, acquiring Posen. So Scandinavia was actually occupying these few territories because Britain failed to completely blockade them in the beginning, and that was quite a disaster for Germany. Fortunately, Britain was able to make a full blockade and force Scandinavia to leave Germany. Anyway, so finally there were 2 huge battles. One in Weimar, there was Britain fighting UK, and then I think in Halle there was a battle between German troops and combined troops of Russia and I think few troops from Austria. So Britain was beaten in Weimar. Although technologically superior, they weren't able to beat Austrian troops, which had 5 defense general. So that was quite a huge deal for Austrian-Russian alliance. But in Halle, completely other story. Germany was able to smash and literally destroy Russian troops. Russia lost 140k men there. Huge blow for them. So Germany was now able to continue smashing through Russian troops. However, eventually Russian troops just overrun them and we reached this stalemate. Neither side was able to make a move to attack, and again we were at a staring contest. But then again, there was a sudden change of tides. And unfortunately for UK didn't anticipate it. And Austria actually called USA in. So of course USA had no troops in Europe, but the important thing was USA sent their fleet to fight Spain. So their fleet was close to me, and then they were able to move it to Baltic Sea and managed to beat British fleet, although Brits have I think technologically superior fleet, but still they were no match for Imperial Russian fleet and USA fleet. Of course there are a few ships from Scandinavia, but then they're no huge deal. And so far it looks pretty fine for Russia and Austria. Although I think if UK manages to transport all of the troops to Europe, then they will be able to win the war. We'll see though. The situation is really complicated and quite interesting. I think NGF and UK would accept a white peace here. As you can see, they're still winning the war. They have plus 50 from battles. And USA, I don't believe USA will interfere there. I don't think they will send some troops to Europe. It will take them quite some time, and attrition they will suffer is enormous, so I don't think that is the best way to fight it. Their fleet is doing quite a decent job, so why do anything differently? Yeah, I have to mention one more thing. Christian played really well, and in the first war actually against Marconi, not allowing Marconi to pile up on one battle. He was able to keep his armies busy in fighting 3 or 4 battles at a time, and then he would just eventually win those battles by sheer amount of troops. And as you can see, all of these provinces are either plains or, well, okay, woods are fine if you're fighting a defensive battle. But there are so many plains here, so the front is quite wide, and that is not something you want as Germany, really, or NGF. Austria actually did quite well. You know, Austria has huge problems in the beginning. They have no research points, and the tech is quite low. Even at this point, they only have 7 military tech or army tech. They're really doing quite well. I'm not sure what is going to happen in the next session. Quite an even war, and I think the most realistic solution is to get a white peace, but we'll see. Austria and Russia will be hurt nevertheless, even if they win with this war. They lost a huge amount of troops, and I'm not sure how many of those they will be able to reinforce. As you can see, Russia, although they have no territories occupied, they have 7 war exhaustion, and Austria, I think, yeah, Austria has 10. Of course, NGF has 28, but that's NGF. So if you want to join this game, of course you can check us on TeamSpeak server. I will leave a link in the description. And that's it from me for now. Of course, I wish you Happy New Year, as tonight is the New Year's Eve. I don't know how much I will be able to play, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, we'll see though. So have fun.